Hi, I'm Janna.
And I'm Greg from Cutting Edge Stencils.
Today we're going to show you how to stencil and shade with brushes using multiple colors.
These beautiful French panels were stenciled using our Versailles Grand Panel stencil, which is surprisingly easy to use.
Here's what you'll need: your cutting edge stencils, a fine artist brush, stencil brushes, acrylic paints, a large styrofoam plate, low-tack painter's tape, and paper towels. Position your stencil and secure it with a few pieces of low-tack painter's tape. Squeeze a dollop of each acrylic color you're going to use around the perimeter of the plate, leaving the middle empty for mixing colors. You can tape your folded paper towel right next to your project. Load your stencil brush and then offload it onto your paper towel. There are a few ways you can apply paint with a stencil brush. It can be done using a straight up and down pouncing motion or a light sweeping circular motion. This way you can achieve a very delicate, almost airbrushed look. Try to vary the force with which you dab or pounce to get the coverage you want. The lighter you do it, the lighter and more translucent your coverage will be. Generally, for each color you'll need a separate brush, but here we're using the same brush for a few different shades of green and it works great. Try to finish all the parts of the design that should be green with this one brush. If you want to introduce a different color like terracotta or yellow ochre, grab a new stencil brush. Don't forget to always wipe the excess paint on the paper towel after each time you reload your brush. Try over-dabbing the previous color here and there with another color to get nice blended effects. Here we're adding some rust tones and yellow ochre acrylic to the tips of greenish acanthus leaves. Don't be afraid to experiment with colors. It's really fun and easy. Sometimes adding an unusual color to your stencil work makes it really unique and beautiful. With stencils, blending of colors is so incredibly easy. Your color blending doesn't have to be perfect or very smooth. Stenciling is so forgiving. Something that looks a bit messy on the stencil surface can be absolutely perfect and crisp once you lift that stencil. Now that the main colors are applied and blended, it would be great to add some darker shading for depth and dimension. Shade with a darker color at the edges of the stencil openings. Make sure the entire design gets stenciled and shaded before removing the stencil. For the center opening, apply terracotta acrylic paint with a stencil brush. You can use an artist brush for it as well, but we just happen to have a stencil brush handy and it works great. It's okay if the finish is somewhat uneven. In fact, you can break it up even more by wiping some off with a paper towel to give it a highlight. Make sure the paint is fully dry before applying the Cameo Lady stencil. This stencil is designed to fit perfectly in the center opening. We're using an off-white acrylic color and pouncing it to get solid opaque coverage. Remove the stencil. Here's our beautiful Cameo Lady. When the paint is dry, we want to shade around this cameo image by using the cutout as a mask. Place the cutout right over the lady's profile to block it and lightly shade around the image with a little bit of raw umber acrylic. So here's our beautiful multicolor French panel. We can further enhance the hand-painted look by connecting the gaps left by tiny bridges with an artist brush. This Versailles Grand Panel stencil gives you an elegant hand-painted look in a fraction of time. Cutting Edge Stencils. It's beautiful, made easy.